The corridor was damp and cold. The only illumination, coming from the braziers on the raised platform. Their feeble glow, cast a yellow, wavering light, that fought back the omnipresent gloom, barely prevailing. The primary focus of this dim light, was a robust structure at the center. A cage constructed of imposing metal frames. On the island of visibility, in the sea of shadows, the cage and its lone inhabitant were clearly seen under the watchful eyes of the guards stationed at the opposite entrances, making escape a mere illusion. Exhausted from the day's gruelling labors, Turul was utterly spent. Tamas led him through the corridor, towards the cage, his isolated cell. Set apart from others, the enslaved hero was made for solitude, surrounded by an expanse of cold, unforgiving stone. With a shove from the heartless overseer, the young rebel stumbled into the sturdy square cage. His muscular form seemed even larger inside the confining space. He was pushed onto the cage floor, the chill of the metal frame seeping into his already weary bones.
See, your grand chamber. Ain't no room for luxury or comfort here, boy. This chain keeps you grounded, like a beast of burden.
Tamas taunted, picking up a heavy chain attached to a metal bar near the floor. The other end was a ring he locked to the prisoner's right wrist shackle. The chain was short, allowing for only minimal movement. In this position, the muscular captive's right arm was stretched towards the corner of the cage, the chain pulling taut whenever he tried to move. The malicious giant finished with a final, mocking bow.
Enjoy your stay, slave.
His coarse laugh echoed in the dim corridor as he hefted the heavy door shut with a resounding clang. Turul sat down, his back against the cold metal frame. A bowl of gruel was placed at one corner, just within reach, forcing him to twist awkwardly to get to it. Each movement pulled at the chain attached to his right wrist, a constant reminder of his captivity. This meager offering was the only meal the muscular captive received in a day, a pittance designed to keep him just strong enough for his labors. His right hand was restrained and useless, leaving him with only his left hand to manage his meal. His large hand, battered and bruised from the day's labor, carefully cradled the bowl to his mouth. He wolfed it down. Each mouthful was an effort, the bland taste barely registering on his weary palate, but a means to quench his parched throat. Yet, he ate every bit, knowing that every morsel was vital to maintaining his strength. He finished the meal silently, marking another gruelling day's end. Setting aside the empty bowl, The muscular captive lay down exhausted. His body ached from the day's strenuous labors. The promise of some rest might give him more strength. But the cage's floor was not smooth. It was installed with a rough metal bar. His broad back was forced to conform to the irregular surface beneath him, as he lay supine on the floor. The buzz dug into his skin, creating an uncomfortable sensation that would persist through the night. With his chest forced upward in that position, Turul could not relax fully. Sleep would be elusive. Any attempt to find a comfortable posture would be in vain, due to the chain and the metal bars. Rest would come only in short, fitful moments, accompanied by a dull pain radiating from his back and right arm. His muscles had to work continuously to adjust and compensate for the discomfort, thus denying him a chance to recover from the gruelling work. As the night fell, and the sounds of the castle faded into a hushed whisper, the enslaved hero was left alone with his thoughts. His gaze drifted over the dimly lit corridor outside his cage, the metal bars casting stark shadows over the cold, stone floor. Despite the isolation, his mind was anything but quiet. He thought of the day's labors, the bridge's weight, the sewer's filth, the humiliation in the washroom. Each memory reminded him of his servitude, of the king's attempt to break his spirit. However, they also served to fuel his resolve, each hardship etching a more potent desire for freedom into his heart. His thoughts then wandered to his companions, who shared his fate. Their faces flickered in his mind, expressions of fear, determination, and a glimmer of hope. He wished he could reach out to them, encourage them, reassure them that their suffering was not in vain, that he was still fighting, and that they were not alone. The unyielding rebel's mind turned to strategies for escape. Reviewing each detail of the castle, he'd noticed each crack, each loose stone, each guard's routine. He imagined each scenario, every possible plan, and each outcome. He dwelt on the tiniest details, forming and reforming plans, determined to find a path to freedom. Yet, there was also room for regret and sorrow in the silence and solitude. Turul thought of Alona and his unborn baby, the warm sunshine, the sound of laughter and camaraderie, and the feel of his sword in his hand. He missed the freedom, the sense of purpose, the thrill of battle. The memory of his fall, capture, and degradation was a bitter pill to swallow. In the stillness of the night, Turul was not just a captive in a cage. He was a man at war with himself, his situation, his captors, and his destiny. His body may have been enslaved, but his spirit remained untamed, his mind unfettered. As the night deepened, his resolve strengthened. He would fight, he would endure, and he would reclaim his freedom. But the rest was brief. Just as the muscular captive was lulled into a fitful slumber, the abrasive clang of the cage door being unlocked pulled him back into consciousness. He had to prepare for the next day and brace himself for the vicious cycle of labor that lay ahead. Every dawn marked a new day of toil and humiliation.